reflexes like a mongoose on amphetamines. Waving his Wilson wand. Super scintillating and sensational from Sosa. It's tennis near the gods. No mortal may approach.
Welcome back to Tennis Near the Gods. I'm Alex. I'm joined alongside my brother Nicholas, and today we're going to be recapping the Australian Open and what happened in the final week, and previewing the 3 ATP 250 events that are to come this week with Cordoba, Sofia, and Montpellier. So to start off with the Australian Open, Novak Djokovic took the title in convincing fashion, routining Rafael Nadal in the final of a score of 6-3, 6-2, 6-3.
And he really just got better as the tournament went along. The first week he wasn't playing exceptional tennis. He was a bit sloppy in certain instances, but
it was just typical Novak Djokovic major tennis. The first 4 rounds are warm up for what is to come later. And I mean, he had a combined total of 15 unforced errors in his final 2 matches, which is just unheard of. I've never seen Nadal have to redline in a match like he did in the final. He was completely bewildered. He had no idea what was going on. He was unloading on the ball, and Djokovic was unloading right back, but even bigger.
And Nadal is the one who was coming in looking the best in the tournament.
I mean, I don't know. The match against Pouille, or for Djokovic against Pouille, was an indicator that it was bad news for Nadal. I mean, even Djokovic said in his press conference prior to the match, the reporter asked whether he was worried about Nadal hadn't dropped the service game. And Djokovic said, "It's different when you serve against me," which is a pretty bold statement to say before you go into a match, but it's certainly the case. I mean, the guy
is the best returner in the world.
Well, yes, that too, but the way he backed it up in this tournament, he was pelting backhands into Nadal's corner like it was no tomorrow. Nadal was completely paralyzed. He couldn't find his way inside the baseline.
No.
And Nadal was talking about how he created this whole new game style for himself, where he was looking to, on hard courts, to shorten the points, hit a little bigger, go a couple more 1-2 combos, especially off the serve, looking to end points sooner. And Djokovic just took whatever he had done and said, "You can't do any of that.
No.
But you can't even defend against me." I mean, he picked every single right shot off the backhand side. And then, not to mention his service games. He dropped 1 point in the first set on his serve. And then he dropped, he had to save a couple break points in the third set, I believe. But the entire match, he was like our pitcher. Nadal had no idea what was coming. He had his well, which was going out wide, sliced wide on the deuce side, followed up by open court. Nadal had no idea what to do. He was completely bewildered, and he had no idea what hit him. Before the match, to be honest, or starting in week 2, I said Nadal. I was taking Nadal, but I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. Djokovic is not only back, but I've not seen him play tennis like that. He also said he's never played a Grand Slam final like that. I don't think he's ever played a match like that, which is scary because
what's going to happen for the rest of the season? How can he do on clay?
I mean, the clay swing is going to be...
Because if Nadal's trying to do this game style on hard, do you think he'll transition that into
he's
clay?
not transitioning. That's a dumb idea because it's not the same thing. Hard and clay is not the same thing. He even said it's because hard takes a toll on his body. I still think the way Djokovic is playing, now you say Nadal for Roland Garros is not a lock anymore. It's not a lock. I mean, I don't care how well Nadal plays. If Djokovic is stinging backhands like that, he literally lets the ball climb to his shoulder and he just unloads. It's absurd.
And he's not afraid to go to either side.
So Djokovic this year could get the golden or the 4 Grand Slams in a row. I see that happening. The year Grand Slam. For sure. That is no doubt in my mind. Whether he performs in the 1000s at a consistent basis, whether you see him winning every single one, which is unlikely. I mean,
you can't do that.
It's impossible. It's tennis. But I see him just showing up when it matters most for those Grand Slams. But besides Djokovic and Nadal, what you take from the rest of this tournament...
I mean, Luca Pouille survived this tournament.
I mean, I'm not going to even go into Luca Pouille because I feel like that it was a combination of a good draw. He worked his way through, played some okay tennis, got through a couple matches, and then started to play better. I mean, a great win against Raonic.
And Coric, for that matter.
And Coric. So those are two big wins. And he just switched recently to Emilio Mauresmo. So that seems to be working out, even though he dropped his first two matches of the year in back-to-back first rounds and 250s. But I would say, guys, to look for, again, we mentioned this in our preview of the entire season, is Daniil Medvedev. Yes. Roberto Bautista Agut, I would say the way he's been looking has been in quality form. Mm-hmm. Thomas Berdych especially, you could see him. He's definitely going to jump inside the top 20. I say definitely inside the top 15.
I agree.
I
don't think he'll get to
the
top 10.
I say top 10.
I don't see top 10 just because there's so many other guys.
I see top 10.
There.
He's got the game. He's playing big.
Because you've got Stefanos Tsitsipas, who I think is better than Berdych.
I don't know. I think Stefanos Tsitsipas, you have to wonder, okay, when he's played someone who's big and can force him off the baseline, what is he going to do?
But when he's playing well, he can have these
but that's
big
everyone.
runs.
Everyone, if they play well. It's professional tennis. Everyone can play well and go on runs. So I think that's neither here nor there. So again, we're gonna jump into the 250s now. I mean, there's nothing more you can really say about the Australian Open other than Djokovic is here. In pretty convincing fashion. So you go into the 250s, and we'll start with Cordoba, which is a new event on the ATP World Tour. Red clay event in Argentina. You have Marco Cecchinato playing in it.
Fabio Fognini.
So, I mean, it's the start of the clay swing.
I wonder how Fognini will do this year, because he had an absolute stellar year last year.
It's not going to be the same this year. I see you. It's headlined by, as I said, Fognini, Cecchinato, Schwartzman, Carreño Busta. I mean, you got all the clay guys down there.
Yeah,
grinding it out. So I mean, who knows? It's always a crapshoot in those clay tournaments. I feel like, especially if you don't have a team or Nadal in there. Schwartzman, you never know what type of tennis he's going to produce, especially Fognini, who's a...
I think Cecchinato can...
Cecchinato could get it.
I mean, but
Cecchinato can also be a bum, so you never know. He can find ways to lose, like he did in the Krajinovic match in the first round of the Australian Open. So, who knows with that one. So, that's exciting. I mean, I'm a big fan of the clay court swing, so I'm looking forward to that tournament. And then you go to Sofia, which is the strongest of the 250s this week. Headlined by the number 1 seed Karen Khachanov, the 2 seed in Stefanos Tsitsipas, the 3 seed Daniil Medvedev,
Bautista
Agut.
Then you also have Basilashvili at 5. You have
Monfils 7.
But you also have Wawrinka
and Verdasco. And Berdych is in
and Fusovic.
No, Berdych is not in the draw. I mean, Fusovic is not
indoor hard.
Okay, stop. Yes, but I think that's going to be again, a very good 250, especially with the season just having gone underway. You're going to see a lot of the top guys trying to get in some matches before...
Who do you think is going to come out on top in this one?
I'd say either Medvedev. I'd take Medvedev, actually. I see Bautista Agut. I could see him... I don't know. I could see Bautista Agut in the finals against Medvedev, just because he's been in great form. The top half of the draw is going to...
It's definitely the weaker side.
Yeah. I take Medvedev for that tournament, especially it's indoor hard again. He plays very flat, plays very linear. It's going to be tough to play against. And I think that style is he beat Tsitsipas last year in Miami. I feel like someone who keeps the ball low against Tsitsipas takes away his biggest weapon, his forehand. He likes the ball up in his zone. He does not not a lot of these guys like the ball low.
And
I think
Roberto
that
had
serves
chances-
Medvedev well.
And then also for Roberto against Tsitsipas in the Australian Open, in the first 3 sets, he went up a break.
I mean, it wasn't even that. Roberto was a sitting duck in that match because his legs were gone. You could tell he was fatigued, and Tsitsipas did everything right. He picked apart Bautista Agut's backhand and just made him run, made him suffer, put him deep into the corner, and found his inside-out, inside-in pattern, and then the match was over. Even if he was going up a break, he was never in the driving seat in that match. His serve speed continued to drop. But that's, again, neither here nor there. It does not matter for this week. Everyone should be coming in fresh. So, again, I take Medvedev. And then we're going to move to Montpellier in France, which is headlined by all the French guys. You got Luca Pouille as the 1 seed after his new jump to 17. You got Goffin as the 2 seed. Shapovalov, believe it or not, is the 3 seed. Simone is the 4th. This, again, is the weaker of the tournaments in terms of top players in
I've got Berdych
right?
coming out.
And I see, again, you stole my pick right there. Thomas Berdych. He's unseeded. He jumped to, around 70 after the Australian Open points went in because he's on his comeback. And, again, on indoor hard, I see it being a tough ask for someone to take him out, especially with him being convincing for Goffin's not been. The tournament is weaker. Again, I'd look for Pierre Hughes Herbert. That's one person that I've been big on.
Urkash. He's got a good draw.
No, I do not think Hubert Urkay is there. Hurkacz is there yet. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Luca Pouille can back up the Australian Open.
I don't see it. I think he could definitely lose to.
I mean, that's every tournament. At the professional level, matches are decided by 10 points.
I just don't see
the margins are very
it up just
you
yet.
never know. You never know. This is the hard part about predicting tennis. I mean, the margins are so thin, with the exception of the Novak Djokovic, who are so dominant at controlling those margins. So